Good afternoon, everyone listening. So I'd like to welcome everyone to today's Tech Talk with me, Kazeem. And what a better way to start the Tech Talk in 2021 than having my very good friends on the show with me today. So today I've got Samuel, I've got Gregor, and I've got Richard on the show with me today. You're very much welcome on the Tech Talk show with me this afternoon, guys.
Hi, Kazeem.
Hey, Kazeem, thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks
Yes.
for having us.
Yes. So today on the Tech Talk show, we're going to be looking at 2020, what we've learned in 2020, being that we're tech people. So what we've learned from 2020 and also what to expect from us in 2021. We have some people that will be rewatching this at a later time online, and we do have students listening as well, and people listening to us right now. So it would be nice for us to kick things off with an introduction, right? So we're going to start things off with letting my guests today introduce themselves. So I'm going to be going with Sam first. So Sam, hi.
Hi, Kazeem. My name is Sam Erskine. I'm based out of the UK. And I'm an African export. So I grew up in Ghana, but now I work in the UK, and I'm head of cloud engagements for an organization. But I've been through the whole IT journey from developer, field service engineer, cloud architect, and now just hanging with Kazeem in Nigeria virtually.
And we also have Richard on the show as well with us. Richard, hi.
Hi. So yeah, I'm Richard Hooper. Some people might know me as Pixel Robots online. I'm an Azure architect. I've been working in IT for probably over 17 years now. I work alongside Gregor Suttie, who's on the show. So that's pretty much me, yeah.
Okay. So, and Gregor, you're very much welcome on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kazeem. So yeah, my name's Gregor Suttie. I also live in the UK, but I'm up in Scotland. My background has been from development for about the last 20 years. And last year in September, I started as an Azure architect for a company called Intercept in the Netherlands. So my learning's all been about Azure this year. So looking forward to doing some more this year.
Okay. So my very first question on the Tech Talk show today goes to Richard and Gregor now. I know that the last tech festival, the last festive tech calendar, I beg your pardon, was packed with a lot of action, right? A lot of educative sessions now. And I know you're both behind, you're both the brain behind the tech festive calendar. So for those listening, I would like you to tell us a little bit about what the tech calendar is about and what prompted you both to start the tech festive calendar.
Richard, do you want to go?
Yeah, so basically about 2 years ago, we started off with the Azure Advent Calendar, which was obviously all about Azure. And then that was a great success. I think we had like over 70 video content throughout from December the 1st to December the 25th. And then we took our learnings from that. And then the year that's just gone, so 2020, we renamed it the Festive Tech Calendar. So opened it up to all technologies, not just Azure. We then went from the 1st of December to the end of the year, basically, because it was such a horrible year. We thought, let's give something back. And so we had amazing content, lots of videos, blog posts. We had even Twitch streams, a quiz, and everything like that. It was really good.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if Gregor would like to add a word or two.
Yeah, so the reason we started this is we wanted to try and give people who aren't that well known a chance to create some content and kind of get a little bit of limelight. So we've had a few people who have never created any content before, and they kind of reached out to us, and we helped them create blog posts and videos. And that was kind of the Azure Advent 2 years ago. And then this year we were kind of speaking as part of the cloud family, and we thought, let's try and open it up to more than just Azure. So we wanted to try and get as many communities and as many people involved as possible. So we always look for new content from new speakers and videos. As Richard said, this year we had Twitch streams, videos, blogs, even an Azure poem. So yeah, just a chance to give some kind of exposure to people who want to get started in creating some content. That was the kind of main reason behind it.
Okay, great. So my second question now is to Sam. Sam and myself, though, we run a monthly tech show. It's called Africa Talks Tech. But since I'm hosting Sam on the show today, so I'm going to leave you, Sam, now to do all the talking, you know. So I want to ask you, Sam, why Africa Talk Tech, and what can we expect from the show this year, 2021?
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot, Kazeem. Well, that's a tough one. I'm glad I went second because it gave me a little bit of time to think about it. So, as Richard mentioned and Gregor, it's been quite a tough year all around, and I'm a firm believer in positivity as well. And in addition to COVID, we had a lot of the challenges with Black Lives Matter. And for those that don't really know me that well, but you probably heard it a few times, I was born in the minority, grew up in the majority, and then went back to the minority. So I was born in the UK. When I was 2, went back to Ghana and grew up. I went to boarding school. It's not like Ethan and all of those places here. Boarding school in Africa is very, very different. It's lockdown plus, right? And then came back to the UK. So when the Black Lives Movement started, it didn't connect with me in the same way as somebody that grew up in the UK or somebody that grew up in the US. So I thought, well, let's reverse the paradigm, right? And show people that we are the opportunity. Africa has been doing technology for over 40 years plus, right? Yeah. And so instead of just talking about it myself, we thought, well, why not go and talk to the people that are there today on the ground and start to share not just positive stories, but realistic stories. You want to hear about the experts from Africa, but also I had changed and I transitioned my role from being a pure tech person to managing and leading people. So I also wanted to share some of the things you have to do as a leader. So we've had a fantastic opportunity to interview some really innovative, talented people, and starting in Nigeria. So we had some great entrepreneurs, and they shared their journeys. So in 2021, we're going to continue with that theme, but we're also going to be getting people like Gregor and Richard to also come in and discuss some of the innovation that's coming out of Africa, like fintech, right? So people think about, well, the infrastructure is poor, governance is poor. However, in Africa, we know how to innovate. So where you would use Wi-Fi for internet banking, there's mobile banking using SMS messages. Where drones are being used to cause commotion in airports, drones are being used to monitor farms and provide additional security. So that's a little bit about it. You can tell I'm all excited, and normally Kazeem does all the talking. So this is my first opportunity to do most of it. But Kazeem, I think I've answered for the rest of the show, right?
You can say that again, Sam. Okay, now, so let me go back to Gregor and Richard now. I'd like to learn from both of your experiences now, Richard and Gregor. Permit me to ask, looking back since you started the festive tech calendar, is there anything you think you would have done differently from what you starting it back, when you started it now?
I think the hardest part of organising something like that is trying to get the content on time. So we were going from the 1st of December right through to the 31st, and there was 1 or 2 days where content was coming the night before. So we had this problem the year before, so we tried to sort it. And the idea was we'd have a cut-off at the start of the end of November. So we asked for all the content to be in, but that just doesn't happen. So we need going forward, we need to try and figure out a way to. Everyone's busy in December, so we realise it's not the best time to try and ask someone to create content. But we need to try and get content up front, because it's not much fun the day before trying to deploy the same changes to the site and uploading the thumbnails to YouTube, which Richard has to do. I mean, Richard had to upload videos on Christmas Day. That just gives you a little bit of insight. So it'd be nice to try and front load that, so we had all the content up front. So that's one thing I would like to change. Other than that, I think it was a roaring success. Really enjoyed it. There's a lot of really great content. I would like to see potentially maybe changing it next year to have new content only, because we've seen people who have done the same talk throughout the year just sending us the talk again, which is fine, but I'd quite like to get new content.
Okay.
But actually, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'm going to come back to Richard now on what we can expect now, more like a sneak peek into 2021, what to expect from the tech calendar in 2021. But just quickly before we go on a short break now, I'm going to come back to you, Sam. I see people have been turning to you now for career talks, you know, Sam. And you've been sort of, a little bit more passive, I should say, with some of your older roles now, the techie roles that, we know you to play back then. So what would you say is responsible for those shifts, Sam?
Well, it's very simple. Right? There's a new generation coming in that can do it better, faster, and I don't add to it. So I'm still very technical. However, I'm working within a different role, and I think there is a lot of what to do, why to do it, but there's very little about really how you go through the organizational challenges, the people challenges of actually this digital transformation. So from my side, I'm like a boxer that is like, held the belts in multiple divisions. I don't need to keep on fighting, right? So I decided to move into the coaching arena. But if we need to go into the ring again, Kazeem, right, into the technical, rest assured, I'm keeping my skills sharp, right? It's just that I don't think that's my value. And also, I was speaking to Richard and Gregor. It gives the next generation an opportunity to fill in those shoes. So I spoke at a lot of community conferences, and you got to see the same speakers in year out. I was given my opportunity, and I want to give other people their platform, and I need to evolve as well. So that's the only reason behind it. But you know what? If I need to roll up and get back into the ring, I'm still doing my rounds all the same.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So I guess we'll need to go on a very short break now, and we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, so you're welcome back. So it's still the Tech Talk Show with me, Kazeem, this afternoon. So back to you now, Chad. I know December is still a very long time from now, right? But I want you to give us somewhat, some kind of a sneak peek into December 2021. So what should we be looking forward to come December 2021 with regards to the festive tech calendar?
So yeah, hopefully this year we haven't done much planning yet, but one of the ideas we've been floating around is to try and get it more interactive, so get people more involved, try and get people talking about it more than just sending a few tweets. Try and do some more of the we tried to do some Ask Me Anything sessions, and they didn't go very well. It could have been due to us not sending it out before, so we're going to try and play that up a bit. Potentially also we want to get involved with some charities and help charities out, so we're going to figure out a way we can do that and try and not just help people learn, but also help people who need help.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sam, let me ask you this. Given the COVID situation that started last year now, many of the not just tech events now have gone virtual. And it looks like even now in 2021, it's not going to be any different. I mean, last year, the likes of Ignite and Microsoft Build and other very big events were done online. And it looks like the trend is going to continue this year. So, Sam, what are your thoughts on this? Is there anything you've learned personally as a result of the COVID pandemic now?
Yes, and that what used to be an exception has become normal. So I've been involved in events where the speaker had to join virtually, right? And I've also been at some huge events where they've started to use virtual reality and created, the virtual person over there, right? So I believe last year gave a lot of those organizations an opportunity to see if they could actually do it virtually. I don't believe the experience is the same as face to face, but I can see the experience getting better as these technologies that allowed us to feel a little bit more closer in a virtual format improves. And, I think I'm going to deflect slightly and just shift to Richard briefly, because Richard and Gregor, you've been doing much more last year in terms of virtual conferences and participating in it. So what would you say your thoughts are on that as well?
On you go.
Yeah, so for me, I definitely miss the human interaction. It's something that makes conferences, and it's very hard to replicate in a virtual world. So that's why we're going to try and figure out a way to hopefully make that happen for the festive tech calendar next year. But Gregor, you had something to say, I believe.
Yeah, I just think networking when you're there in person is so much easier. You can talk to people, and then they'll introduce you to other people. And you can stand there and have a chat. I miss in person talking to people and networking. But the virtual events Build and Ignite were really good, I thought. I liked the virtual pub, which was quite good. So at the end of the day, everyone who was still around basically joined a room and they all shared a beer and they were having a chat. You can kind of network that way. But yeah, it's not the same as in person.
Absolutely. And Kazeem, I suppose one of the positive things that people haven't spotted is that before, for those in-person events, some of the real powerhouse speakers, you never really had an opportunity to connect with them, right? So you've got people like Scott Hanselman, and you've got some really great speakers that were so busy flying all over the world. It was a nightmare to try and get them into an in-person conference. So even though I agree with everything Richard and Gregor have said, the flip side is some of these superstars and heroes of ours have become more accessible in virtual conferences. And I'm hoping that, in future, we'll have more of a blend, very much like mixed chess. So before, chess was just individual players. But I read a lot, and if you read deeply into it, there are now chess tournaments where they use computers and people to play the game. So in that same vein, for our conferences, I think at some point you're going to have these huge conferences where there'll be a virtual aspect of it, making it more accessible to the rest of the world. And even when you're in person, you can still be at all of these other sessions. So I'm seeing it more as an evolution and a transformation rather than just a pain. And how do we get back to the old ways of working? Because that's gone.
Okay. And just before we wrap up now, I like people to know we're doing this from a community radio station in Lagos State University, Lagos, Nigeria here. And we have a good number of students listening in to us right now. So I'd like for each of you to advise the students listening to us now. So let's start on the students about, let's call it skill acquisition now. And maybe Richard also wants to add to that, and Sam can help us wrap up with some career advice for the students listening in. So it's over to you now, Greg.
Yeah, so career advice for me is basically just be teachable, try and become a constant learner. So throughout my career, I've always looked at the trends that are coming and kind of tried to, not always the Kool-Aid, kind of drinking the Kool-Aid. I've always tried to keep an eye on what is the up and coming trends and try and learn them. I've always been a Microsoft person, so I've kind of stuck with Microsoft. And in a previous job, I saw the cloud was becoming really large, really big, really quickly. So I kind of kept an eye on that and just try and remain teachable, try and be the kind of person who wants to learn.
To build off of what Gregor said, with the cloud and technology nowadays, it's changing so fast. So you basically need to always continue learning. So not be afraid to learn, not be afraid to get out of your comfort zone, because it's changing so fast. You need to push yourself and just remember, you're never going to be an expert in technology anymore because it changes so fast. All you can do is keep up to date by learning and following other people and just talking and networking online and just sharing ideas and doing things like this, and then it will help.
Okay. So, and it's over to you now, Sam.
Well, I echo everything Gregor and Richard have said, and I've been going through that journey. What I would add is, reason, because I've been in technology for, close to 30 years. I was actually born into it. One of the things that I would share with the students is that the technologies are the how and what you use, right? You need to get closer to what the business needs, right? And call it our business.
Sorry, Sam, for interrupting. I just want to quickly add that you shouldn't give everything away yet. You remember we have a conference coming up and you're going to be talking to the students about career talks, right? So you can continue now, Sam.
Absolutely. I have plenty in the tank. So what I would say is, don't just learn about the technology, learn about what it's being used for, and be creative, right? So if you've got an idea, I always use an example of, say, social media, right? People use it for fun and for business, but remember that other people make money out of it. So that's my cryptic message. And as Kazeem said, we'll have a conference. He's roped me into a virtual conference that I'm studying for right now. So I'm still a student in this game. So I have to echo Gregor and Richard exclusively to say, keep studying. Don't be afraid to learn something new, and don't be afraid to be a beginner again.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sam, Gregor, and Richard, for coming on the show today, for sharing your time and your knowledge. So this is how much time is going to permit us on today's episode of the Tech Talk Wednesday with myself, Kazeem. And just by the way, I'm not the only one in the studio. So I've got my friends in the studio with me. So I've got Fumi in the studio. I've got Peculiar in the studio. Say hi to my guest.
Hi, Greg.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi, all.
That we listened to last week.
That was Samuel.
Samuel, I really love you. Your lesson concerning the IT world, the career world. I really enjoyed last week's session.
Oh, thank you very much.
Very much welcome.
Okay, Peculiar, you want to say hi?
Hi, Sam. Hi to Gregor and Richard. It was so nice being here today with you. I really learned. Okay.
Okay, and I've also got Mira in the studio.
Hi, everyone.
Hi there.
Hello, all. And very well, thank you. I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to be in that studio and do it live.
That would be great. That would be awesome. We're definitely looking forward to that.
All right, so thank you so much, listeners. So remember, you can have a rewatch of the past episode on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter. You can do that on YouTube as well. So across the social media channels is Tech Talk Wednesday with Kazeem. So please, let's continue to keep safe and have a super afternoon, and let's do this again. So it's bye-bye from me now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.